Psalm 34. An angel saved my life. Today, I'm going to tell you the powerful story of Ismael, a boy living alone in a dangerous neighborhood, abandoned by the world, but never by God. What happened one stormy night will leave you speechless, and it all connects to a psalm many have read, but few truly understand. Don't click away. This story carries a message that could change your faith and your life. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story of faith and hope. And if this story touches your heart, share it, because you never know who you might save with just one video. Ismael was just 10 years old. He had learned to survive on his own since his parents died in an accident, and his only known family, his aunt, had rejected him. He slept on cardboard in a dark alley, living off whatever he could find in the trash or from spare change. Despite everything, every night before closing his eyes, he repeated what his mother had taught him. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Though he didn't fully understand what it meant, those words gave him a strange peace in the cold darkness. But one night, something happened. A black van without license plates stopped right beside his makeshift shelter. A man got out and slowly walked toward him. Ismael froze. There was nowhere to run. Who would protect him now? "I have no one, but I know God is with me," Ismael whispered, clutching a small piece of cloth his mother had left him close to his chest. The man from the van was getting closer. His face was hidden under a cap, and he walked with purpose. Ismael wanted to run, but his legs wouldn't move. Fear had frozen him. His breathing grew heavy, and tears welled up in his eyes. Then, suddenly, a figure appeared out of the mist. No footsteps were heard, no sound at all. Just a calm, steady presence standing between the man and the boy. The stranger stopped abruptly. He frowned, as if feeling an unexplainable cold. He looked around, confused. Then, without a word, he turned, got back into the vehicle, and drove away. Ismael didn't understand what had just happened. All he knew was that something or someone had protected him. The figure turned toward him. It was a tall man dressed in white, with a peaceful gaze that radiated an indescribable calm. "Do not be afraid, Ismael. The Lord has heard you. He has sent his angel to protect you." But when Ismael tried to say something, the figure was gone. It had vanished. Ismael sat there, eyes wide open, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The alley didn't seem so dark anymore. Something had changed. The fear that had weighed on him vanished, as if an invisible warmth was wrapping around him from the inside. The next morning, when he woke up, he found a small paper bag beside him. Inside, there was warm bread, an apple, and a handwritten note that read, "The angel of the Lord encamps around you. You are not alone." Psalm 34 verse 7-inch. For the first time in a long while, Ismael smiled. He ate with tears in his eyes, not just because his hunger was eased, but because someone knew his name and his need. That day, something new began to grow in his heart. Faith. Despite living on the streets, Ismael started praying harder than ever. Every night, he thanked God for the food, for the protection, and for the angel who had saved him. What he didn't know was that his story was just beginning, and that angel would return. Ismael never saw the man from the van again, but he started noticing strange things, small, yet impossible to ignore. Every time he prayed, he found food. Every time someone tried to hurt him, something stopped them. Every time he felt completely alone, a gentle breeze would brush over him like a hug. One night, during a heavy rainstorm, a stray dog curled up next to him to keep him warm. And in the silence, Ismael heard that sweet, steady voice again. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." It was as if the voice came from heaven or from inside him. Was he dreaming, or was someone really guiding him? The next morning, he found something that would change his fate. A small pamphlet wet from the rain with big letters that read, "Hope Shelter Meals and Home for Children Without Families." And right at the bottom of the pamphlet, a drawing of an angel with outstretched wings, just like the one he had seen. Ismael held the pamphlet tightly. Although it was torn from the rain, the address was still readable. That very day, he walked over an hour to get there. He was cold, barefoot, and his stomach empty, but his heart was full of hope. When he arrived, a blue gate greeted him with a phrase painted above the entrance. God is a refuge for the poor, a stronghold in times of trouble. He timidly knocked on the door. A woman came out with a warm smile. When she saw him, she didn't ask his name or story. She simply said, "We've been waiting for you, Ismael." He froze. How did she know his name? The Lord spoke to us in prayer. He told us a boy with the soul of a lion and a wounded heart would come. A very special boy. Ismael stepped inside the home with tears in his eyes. For the first time in his life, he felt like he belonged somewhere. Days passed and Ismael blossomed like never before. He learned to read, to pray with others, and to laugh without fear. Every night before bed, all the children at the shelter would recite a different Bible verse. But Ismael always asked to say the same one. "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." Psalm 34 verse 7. The other kids looked at him with wonder, and one day one of them asked, "Why do you always repeat that psalm?" Ismael smiled, his eyes full of emotion, and replied, "Because that angel saved my life and has never left. Sometimes I feel him close, like God whispering that I'm not alone." Since then, his story became an inspiration for every new child who arrived. Many came to the shelter feeling hopeless until they met Ismael and heard his testimony. Over the years, Ismael became more than just a survivor. He became a guide, an older brother, and a living witness of God's love. Every broken child who arrived found in him a reflection of hope. Every prayer he said carried the strength of someone who knew pain and redemption. One afternoon, while helping serve food, a newly arrived girl hugged him without saying a word. Ismael crouched down to her level and whispered, "You're not alone. I know because I once thought I was. But God sends his angels when you need them most." The girl, with tears in her eyes, pulled out a small piece of old cloth. It was almost identical to the one Ismael kept from his mother. In that moment, he understood. God hadn't just protected him. Now, he had made him an angel for others. Because when someone experiences the power of Psalm 34:7, they aren't just saved. They are transformed to save. Years later, Ismael stood before a crowd in the very shelter that saved him. Now he was a young man filled with faith, conviction, and compassion. He held a worn Bible in his hands, the same one he had used as a child, and began his testimony. "I am living proof that God never abandons his own. I was on the streets, hungry, afraid, and all alone, but the Lord sent his angel. He protected me, fed me, and then he taught me to be that angel for others." The room was silent. Many were crying. Ismael raised his voice with strength as he opened the Bible to the verse that changed his life forever. "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." Psalm 34 verse 7. Then he looked at everyone and said, "If you ever feel alone, if all seems lost, cry out to the Lord. You don't know how close the miracle that will change your life forever might be. Because God never abandons. He sends his angels, and sometimes you are the angel someone is waiting for.